What's going on, everybody? How you all doing tonight? Become a little bit more prepared tonight. I got a couple of things that I want to talk about. Uh, Sorry, I had to turn the volume down on that. I actually got some things that I plan on talking about tonight. Before we get into all that, I wanted to let everybody know exactly who Sky High Morphs are and what we're all about. Um, we're a small ball python breeding business located out of Toledo, Ohio, family owned. Me, my wife, my three kids. We all do the ball python. One of my biggest inspirations is Brian Barczyk as well as Glenn Ward. They got me into this. We really strive towards our customer service. That's probably one of the biggest things we pride ourselves in here at Sky High Morse. Our customers are number one. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. So with that, let's go ahead give some shout outs here to Mike. How you doing tonight? Looks like you're the only one here tonight so far. Hopefully some more people roll in. Let's see if we get some more viewers tonight, hopefully. Now I'm also going to go over the giveaway that I'm doing. I want to make sure that I clarify that the giveaway is not part of the 15 minutes of lame competition. We will be doing a giveaway after the 15 minutes late competition in itself. It will be starting on January 1st and it will go until February or yeah, the end of February. Um, I'm not exactly sure on how we're going to work the details of it, but I do plan on doing a cash giveaway. I want to have the first, second, and third place winners. The first place winner will get $500. The second place winner will get $300. Third place winner will get $200 for a total of $1,000 giveaway. Not exactly sure how I'm going to work those details. I know I'm going to kind of involve the podcast as well as the YouTube and my Instagram account, but like I said, I want to try to figure out how I'm going to make first, second, and third place. And if there is a tie, how we're going to do a tiebreaker with that. But I do want to give back to all my supporters. Um, with that, I also want to let people know starting October, we're going to start cutting back on the expos that we vend at. Um, what we're going to be doing is kind of focusing more on the holidays. We have, Halloween's coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas, New Year's, everything. So I want to kind of cut back a little bit on the expos because I usually vend two expos every weekend. So that way I can spend some more time with the family and friends, you know, like I said, with the holidays coming up and everything. With that, let's go ahead and I'm going to go into Chris Eaton and Tradesman Exotics. So I've been kind of a butthole in the 15 minutes of lame chat towards Tradesman a little bit. I kind of been picking on him, giving him a hard time about a couple things. If you want to know what I've been giving him a hard time about, you're going to have to go back and watch his 15 minutes late segment on Snakes and the Fat Man. I think it's episode 111 or 110. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but it's one of the earlier episodes from this year. You want to know why I'm giving him such a hard time, but I've been giving him such a hard time, it's becoming that I'm rubbing off as a asshole or maybe a dick. Tradesman, I want you to know if I've offended you, if I've upset you, if I've felt like you've been disrespected by me in any way, shape, or form, I do apologize about that. I'm not trying to disrespect or upset or offend anybody. I am just giving you a hard time. It is my way of joking around. Um, Actually, I have a sign on my wall here that says, "Warning: My sense of humor may hurt your feelings," which is very true. I have a very harsh sense of humor. Um, so I wanted to apologize to Tito Vargas, as well as all the other 15 minutes of lame contestants that have been having to deal with the shenanigans of what's going back and forth between me and Tito. Um, I will also like to apologize to Chris Eaton, Snakes and the Fat Man. I wanted to make it clarify on my last broadcast when I did tell him to go fuck himself. That was a joke, guys. All right, I really love Chris Eaton. He's a really amazing dude. He can go fuck himself, but like I said, I do love the dude. All right. Matter of fact, just a couple of examples of how amazing of a guy he is. Um, there is a couple of times where I probably pushed the limit a little bit. And Chris Eaton, in his own Chris Eaton way, came up to me and kind of like a dad whispering to his son, trying to get him to go to sleep. He came up to me and said, "Son, yeah, yeah, that's it, son. Um, you're acting a kind of bit of a fool lately. You're scaring the locals. So I'm going to have to ask you to tone it down a little bit and settle down a little bit, or I'm going to have to politely ask you to leave." He could kick me out of the contest. He could have kicked me out of the 15 minutes of lame chat, but he didn't. He came at me really nice, real sweet, real kind in his own Chris Eaton kind of way. All right. He's a real swell guy. He really is. Because like I said, he could have easily kicked me out. He could have easily said, "Hey, look, fuck you, buddy. Get the fuck out. You're fucking causing problems. You're causing this. You're doing that. You're pushing the fucking line a lot. You're just becoming an arrogant asshole." But he didn't. So I have to say thank you to him for not doing that. But I have to kind of be an arrogant asshole right now. It is part of my campaign strategy. I can't reveal my campaign strategy until we actually start able to campaign, because if I do, it's going to ruin the strategy. So, yeah, I kind of trying to paint the biggest target on my back that I can, and kind of thinking about it. Maybe I should say thank you, or not so much a thank you, maybe you're welcome, Tito. Um, and this is me joking around, guys. Come on. All right. So, but you're welcome, Tito. Because in a way, if you think about it, if I wasn't such a big butthole and painting such a big target on my back, who do you think would have the target on their back? All right. Especially with the stuff that I've been giving you a hard time about. So I kind of drew the attention away from you. So you're welcome. Like I said, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Uh, so without that, getting that out of the way, um, we are also going to kind of talk about people getting out of the hobby. It's really sad to see right now. I've been seeing a lot of people getting out of the hobby for multiple reasons. Um, it's I can't say that, it's financial. I believe a lot of the reason why people are getting out of the hobby right now is mental. Um, and I'm calling it ball python debt. It's kind of where you fall into that slump of you're pouring your heart and soul into it, and you're just taking hit after hit after hit after hit, and you start asking yourself, "Why am I still doing this?" I'm driving myself crazy. I'm putting in all this hard work, and I'm getting next to nothing out of it. And I call that ball python debt, because you're emotionally drained, you're mentally drained, and I think that's why a lot of people might be getting out of this hobby is they just can't, well, not so much that they can't, is it's affecting their mental and so much and their daily life so much that it's not worth it for them anymore, if that makes sense to you guys. So I'm not sure why everybody's getting out of this hobby, but I know I'm in it for the win. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not going nowhere. I have an animal that I'm trying to produce, so until I produce that animal, I'm here forever. With that being said, I know that my company is not being built for me. I am just sitting here laying the ground foundation for this company for my kids. I'm hoping that when they get older, that they're going to want to take this over, and when they do take this over, that there is a good foundation for it. Because it's trying to start off from scratch in this hobby. It's a work. It's real work. Um, do we have any questions tonight or anything like that? If you do, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I get to them or as soon as you ask them because there ain't very many pew pew viewing tonight. Yeah, I kind of stumble on my words. Sorry, I'm tired. Um, what else? I had something else that I wanted to talk to you about, but it just kind of slipped my mind. Uh, crap. Because see, we talked about the apologizing to Chrissy in and the giveaway and kind of who Sky High Morse is. Um, we went over. Let's see, yeah, we went over that. Went over that. Wow, I didn't believe I could get through all that so fast. Um, Also, during the 15 minutes of lame contest, you guys can poke fun at me all you want. I don't care. You can say what you will. Just leave the kids out of it. That's a big no no. I will say to everybody, the kids, you got to deal with Mama Bear after you involve the kids in any kind of reel like that. Um, Especially if it's a smear campaign reel. Um, so also with the podcast. Okay, and now I remember what I wanted to go over. With the podcast, like I said, I'm trying to do something different. So once a month, I'm going to do kind of like this. We're going to sit down, hang out for a half hour, 45 minutes, just kind of go over the month, what's been going on in my life, what's going on with Sky High Morphs, any additions, any pickups, or any locks or anything like that, any breeding plans. Then we're also going to the following week, so next week, we're going to do an open mic. So anybody's allowed to come in, sit down, talk about whatever we want to talk about. Come and go as you please. Just DM me and I'll shoot you a link to the stream. And like I said, anybody's welcome. You can talk about whatever you want. Then the following week after that, I actually do have a guest. Uh, his We're going to have a guest. He's actually a first respond firefighter. And his wife is I do believe, a nurse. Um, they're just getting into the hobby, so I wanted to get him on here, talk to him a little bit, see, what's it like being a first fire or first respond firefighter. Get to know the guy a little bit. I think he's going to have some interesting stories, especially in his line of work. Um, and then on the last week of the month, um, I was going to kind of dedicate a stream just to my fans. So I was going to send links to you guys and just have a podcast where I sit in the background and you guys do what you want to do on on the podcast. It will be your guys' podcast. It won't be mine no more on the last week of the month or the last podcast of the month. It will be my Patreon, or not Patreons, but my subscribers, my supporters, or whoever would like to be part of that podcast. It will be their podcast, whatever they want to talk about, whatever they want to go through. If they want to do online auction, if they want to show off their animals, if they want to do that, that's what I'll do. And I'll do all the behind the scenes for you guys, pulling up the comments. I'll be doing all the zooming in and everything and all that type of stuff. So it'll be your, like I said, your guys' podcast. I know I kind of ramble on. I know I kind of repeat myself as well. Um, so this week, or actually let's say this month so far, I had a kind of eventful day today. Went out, did some shopping. Did resupply on the rodent bedding and everything like that. Got home to find that my daughter broke the faucet off of the sink. So I got to take that apart, tear it all apart, try to get that, run up to Menards, pay 100 and something dollars, well, close to $100 for a faucet. I mean, it's a nice little faucet that we bought, but still, it's always nice to come home to find the faucet just laying around. Oh, looky there. There's my daughter there. Hi, Savannah. So, but yeah, I know she didn't mean to do it. I know it wasn't on purpose or anything, but it was kind of, well, dang, if it ain't one thing, it's another. So then I actually got some good news at work earlier this week. They're looking over and reviewing my key man. So what key man is for me is right now at work, I'm a technical machine operator. So I program the big furnaces. Set all the adjustments for the enriching gas, the natural gas, the ammonia, all kinds of different chemicals that go into the furnace. It involves the heat treating process in that. And I run the furnaces as well as making sure parts go in, make sure when the parts come out, they're meeting customer specifications, stuff like that. So I'm going for a key man, which key man is pretty much supervisor in training or supervisor when the supervisor's not there. So it's a big step up, a little bit of pay increase. Hopefully, I get it. I've been talking about it. They've been talking about it to me. There's no reason I shouldn't get it. I'm the only one on my shift that knows how to run every single piece of equipment we have. Besides me, there's only one other person that knows how to run every single piece of equipment we have. So I believe I should be able to get key man. I also train a lot of the new guys coming in on everything. The only thing I don't know exactly how to do yet is to do the shutdown for the big furnaces, which I do believe they will train me on. Um, so hopefully that goes through and I'll be happy about that. I haven't had no new pickups lately, no additions to the collection. I'm kind of tapped out on my reinvestment money for the year. Every year, I give myself a certain amount of money that I'm allowed to reinvest back into the company. Anything after that is what covers our overhead, like our snakes bedding, the rodent bedding, because we breed our own rodents. We do mice, rats, and AFSs. So we that cover the rodent bedding, it covers the food for the year. It doesn't cover everything, but you know, it does cover quite a bit. Uh, Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I believe that I will get it. You know, I don't see why I won't. You know, it's like I said, I the only one on my shift that can run every piece of equipment. So fingers crossed. The only thing that I can see that might come up that will not let me get it is we don't have, let's say, the manpower for them to pull me off of one of my furnaces or pull me off of one of my pieces of equipment for them to put me into that training of how to do the shutdowns. Because I work second shift, I need to know how to do the shutdowns for Friday nights. Um, so that's the only thing I could think of that would stop them from giving it to me yet. Um, so But as I was saying, no new pickups. I am doing some pairings. I got my Ultramel had Ultramels that have locked up a couple times already this season. Well, I should say next season, because by the time they lay should be next season. Then I got my Pie Clutch that or my Pie Girl and my Pie Boy that's been locking up and that they've had a couple of locks, so I'm hoping that she goes for me. I also have a pastel Enchi being bred to a pastel Mojave double het hype or a double het lavender pied. I'm hoping she goes for me. I'm going to have to, of course, shed test all the babies, and then I will really want to get that Enchi into my lavender pied project. Um, as well as the Mojave. I would like to get the Mojave and to do the Lavender Pie project as well. You know, I do believe the Mojave looks amazing in pastel. I think Mojave does some amazing stuff in different combinations. So I would be really interested in to seeing what it would do in the Holy Grail project. Um, so I know I'm waiting for my one girl to come out and get up to size. So I actually gotta weigh her up here a little bit later tonight. I'm gonna weigh her up. So uh what else? I had something else. Oh yeah, the corn snake is out of shed, so I'm able to show her off. So let me pull her out for you guys, because last time I didn't get to show her, and yeah, repping the area merch. Ah, I like that, girls. You're all buried. Oh, ah, ain't she gorgeous? See, yeah, and this is what not Sandy, Pumpkin. Sheesh. Yeah, see, she takes care of them and can't even remember which ones they are. Matter of fact, she just cleaned out all the tubs and helped to clean out all the snakes today. And of course, they get paid for it. So it's not like they don't. And the funny thing about this girl here, she was actually a trade. Was vending at I do believe it was the Pickle Expo. And then a guy comes up to me and asks me if I was interested in trading a corn snake for one of my ball pythons. Said, "Oh, maybe why were you trying to trade it?" He says, "Well, the pet store won't take it. They're offering them so much money." Um, but she was mean. She did not but bite him, and every time he pulled her out of the enclosure, she would bite him. So he wanted to trade for a ball python, something that's more a little bit more docile or docile. Sorry, where are you at? Just making sure she ain't wrapping around the chair, getting tangled up in the chair. It's an open back chair. Um, so I got over there, went over to the guy's house, because I didn't want him to bring it to the expo. And that opened up his enclosure, reached in, picked her right up. Didn't hiss, didn't do nothing. Now I've had her strike at me while she was in shed. She's done the tail rattle at me, but she has never bit me yet. I've been bitten more by my ball pythons than I've had her or my sand boas. And yeah, like I said, I do try to get into colubrids. I first want to get my ball python game kind of on lockdown and get a lot of the stuff that I'm wanting to make made. So I want to get the triple visual hypo G stripe clown going as well as the Holy Grail and then my True Ghost. But I want to get G Stripe in the True Ghost. Then I was talking to, I think it was Sloan Morphs and that, and he was talking about putting Cryptic in with it as well as G Stripe, and I think that looks sweet. VPI Xanthic, Clown, G Stripe, Cryptic, that would be fire. But I just know if I want to vend Tinley at one day, I gotta do more than just ball pythons. I gotta branch out. The wife wants to do the leopard geckos. Um, so I'm gonna have to probably get a hold of someone like Bardello of Geckos or Gecko Diva. I do believe I want to say Demonic Reptiles. Lenny from Demonic Reptiles dabbles in geckos as well. But I do know Gecko Diva, Crystal from Gecko Diva, she has some really amazing stuff. So I do want to go check that or what she has out. And if you don't notice already, I kind of talk a little weird, kind of backwards sometimes. That's my mental problem. And yes, that is a big middle finger on my forearm. Oh, speaking of which, I wanted to also go over why I'm so confident. That's something I just thought of. A lot of people take my confidence as arrogance or being a dick, asshole, whatever you want to call it. Well, I'm only so confident because I believe in myself. I believe in my capabilities. We're all we are all crazy, bro. That we are. Especially us ball python breeders are a little out there, aren't we? No, you gotta have confidence in every fucking thing you do. If not, people will put you down every time. And that's absolutely correct. And that's why, like I said, I have the confidence because I believe in myself. I believe in my capabilities. You know, um, I mean, I know for a fact that I can be a successful business. I know for a fact that I can be somebody in this reptile industry. Um, Same with all of you guys out there. You guys can too. It just takes that hard work, determination, and positivity. And I know I'm a very determined person. I never give up. I never surrender. Yeah. Does anybody know where that's from? Yes, yes, hon. Confidence is a good thing to have. Shit, I got a 16 and 13-year-old girls and married 17. Of course, we are all crazy. Yeah. Oh, Mike, by the way, I did book that Jackson Expo up there in Michigan later on this month. So I got us one table, so I am very much hoping to see you up there. I do notice that Glenn and Will both also have a table booked for that weekend. So it's going to be a historic weekend. It might be the last time you see the Morphin' Around crew all together in one place, you know, which is really sad seeing them guys get out of it. I did look up to Glenn Ward quite a bit, and that I did consider him a mentor to me. Like I said, he taught me a lot. So uh, I'm always going to remain his friend. I'm always going to be able to and talk to him, and I know where he lives, so I can always go over and hang out and see him. But not having him in the industry, it's kind of like when Brian Barczyk left. I'm sorry to compare the two. I know it's nothing the same, but and I'm not talking about when he Brian Barczyk passed away. No, 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 that's not what I'm talking about, guys. All right, I'm talking about when Brian Barczyk left the reptile industry for a while because he was getting bashed so bad, and everybody was saying that he was doing this wrong, that wrong, and he was catching so much negativity and everything. And then he come back and showed everybody that hey, what you're saying is wrong. But that's what I'm talking about, not when he passed. Let's make sure we get that clear. Um, so, but it's losing a mentor in the industry, and then seeing somebody that you consider a big name breeder, and that get out and that hey. But I understand his reasonings. Maybe one day we can get him on the podcast and hear it from the man himself and get right out of the man's mouth of what his thoughts were and what his mindsets was. You know, because like I said, I doubt that a lot of people get out because of financial bit. Because there is money in the ball python world, and that so I doubt that it's financial. Shit, man, with me being blind, people tell me to stay out of it, that I don't know what I'm doing or anything, but like you were saying, confidence, I have confidence that I do it. Fuck them. Yeah, fuck them, man. You know, you don't have to, because you know what, Mike, just because you're blind, well, you're not completely blind, okay? I've heard Billy rant about you. You're not completely blind, but you have a lot of people that's going to help you out, man. If you need help, I'm sure Billy, talk to Billy for Billy Rose. He's definitely going to help you out with IDing your clutch without steering you wrong. Glenn Ward, he's another one that'll help you ID your clutch without steering you wrong. Me, myself, I'm not great at all the genetics. I'm not great at IDing people, all the genetics into snakes, but I can do what I can and try to help you out as best as I can. You know, all you got to do is ask, man. That's what we're here for. We're here to help everybody out, and that's another thing with Sky High Morse is I would like to make this more of a reptile family and not a reptile community where we can reach out to each other without worrying about that negativity. Yeah, there's quite a few people out there. Yeah, I'm about 80% blind. just have a little bit of peripheral on the right side. Oh yeah, and but like I said, Mike, we're here to help each other. And then that, like I was just saying, I want this to be a reptile family, not just a reptile community. And that's why I love Steve Nelson from Area, because he has that kind of same mindset that he wants to have this family, not just a community. Because it's always nice to be able to reach out to somebody and discuss what's going on in your collection without worrying about some backlash from the air or some negativity because oh my humidity ain't just perfect or my temperatures ain't perfect you know and that so yeah, yep, hopefully one of us can talk to Brandy about putting us next to each other at the show. That would be awesome, man, if we can get put next to each other. That would be cool. You know, I definitely would like to vend next to you. You know, um, but yeah, I did get that table booked for that later on this month, so we can meet up. I can meet you in person finally. You know, also get to say hi to Will and Glenn because I haven't seen them in a little while as well. I mean, I talked to them on Facebook and Messenger and that. But I haven't seen them in person in a couple of weeks, and usually I see them at least maybe once every 2 weeks. Um, but yeah, with the confidence, like I said, another reason I might be so confident, and I was just thinking, Toledo's slogan actually is "You will do better here." Come on, I mean, if that ain't confidence in its own right, you know, Toledo, you'll do better here. Like, yeah, I live in a very confident city as well, I guess. So, we've been going for almost 30 minutes. Oh, almost 40 minutes now. Holy crap, I didn't realize I talked that much. Guys, I didn't expect it to go that long. I got through everything I wanted to talk about, but like I said, I still want to go for about another 10 minutes. Tonight, make sure you hop over there to the Fat Man Nation. Check out the lamest chat at 7 o'clock. I do believe the Fat Man has another podcast tonight. Hold on, let me double check. Do and I will let you know. Yep, they got the lamest chat tonight at 7 o'clock with Jamie, and it looks like that's all that is going on tonight over there at Snakes and the Fat Man. But I will definitely be over there in his chat because, like I said, I do love the Fat Man. He is a very awesome person. He's been pretty kind to me for as much as I've been pushing and nudging and poking the bear because I've been poking the shit out of him. Trust me, I have. But it is part of my campaign strategy. And I'm just on the brink of getting kicked out, guys. I mean, just on the brink of getting kicked out. But the Fat Man has really been awesome. It's been really giving me those second chances and really kind of telling me, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is how you're acting. If you don't settle down, you're out of here. In his Chrissy in type of way. Um, and he's been polite about it in his own Chrissy in type of way. Yeah. So, like I said, he's awesome. But I will be over in his podcast tonight. So make sure you check out the lamest chat that I have think what Gerald, Jared, and Paul. Not exactly sure if Chris will be there. Um, but they also have, like you said, their guests and everything. So it should be a good little episode. and listen to me. I'm sitting here shouting somebody else out on my own podcast. Yeah, that's right. Meant to say sometime if you want me to come on and hang out with you, you can send me a link and I can join up with you sometimes and we can just bullshit and talk about different things. Mike, that's actually a good idea. I think I'll take you up on that. Like I said, next month or next week we're having an open mic, so anybody's able to join. They come and go as you please. Just DM me, I'll send you a link. Uh, the following week after that, we're going to have a guest on. I have a guest already lined up. He's new into the ball python breeding. Just got into it, but with his background and what he does for work, I thought he would be a really interesting guest to have on because, like I said, he is a first responder firefighter, and his wife is also a nurse, I do believe. So I'm sure they have some really interesting stories to tell. They might not be ball python related, it might not be reptile related, but like I said, I kind of want to do something different. I want to get to know who these breeders are. And, Mike, I would like to have you on my show as well, just so I can get to know who you are, you know. And then the following week after the guest, like I said, the last month or the last week of the month, because I'm trying to do uh kind of like first week is going to be kind of going over everything. I could and stuff like that. Have you jump on, we can bullshit and kind of talk about our month. Um, then like I said, the second podcast or of the month, I'm going to be doing an open mic for everybody, whoever wants to jump in. The third podcast of the month, I'm going to actually be trying to get a guest on. So we can actually have somebody to interview, talk to. And then the fourth podcast of the month, I want to kind of give that podcast back to you guys, the viewers. And like I was saying earlier, I want to send out links to 4 or 5 different people that you all come into to the podcast and me just sit in the background and let you guys talk about what you want to talk about. Like if you guys want to auction off your animals, if you guys want to show off your collection, whatever you guys want to do, I'll just sit in the background and kind of do the background work of pulling up the comments and zooming in on who needs to be zoomed in on. I can always still jump in and hang out with you guys as well and that, but it's going to be more of your guys' podcast. So, all right. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about with the podcast, and I am definitely kind of looking for maybe a co-host in the future. Yeah, it's definitely somebody I'm going to have to be able to vibe with. If we're clashing and stuff like that, it doesn't make for a good podcast. We can definitely vibe together. We can definitely have co-hosts, so that's another reason why I would like to also meet you in person, Mike, is that way, see if we can vibe. If we can vibe, then I would like to, like I said, have you on as a guest. If you feel comfortable with being a co-host, then we can maybe go over something like that as well. Um, but like I said, we got to see how things go. Sounds good, bro. Sounds good to me as well. Um, but with that, we've been on here for about 45 minutes. Like I said, I kind of also want to keep my podcast to about an hour. I don't want to be, a 3, 4 hour podcast like the Hair Down Fridays, which don't get me wrong, are awesome podcasts, but I don't think I have 6 hours in me like that, man. One step at a time. Oh no, Mike, we're diving right into it, man. Right into it head first. Joking, guys, joking. All right. But like I was saying is yeah, I wanna try to keep it to about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. If we have a really good time, if we're really, lose track of time, then if it goes 2 hours, then it goes 2 hours. but I do want to kind of keep it where it is watchable, because I know not a lot of people have 2 hours to sit and watch a whole podcast. An hour they might, and that. So I want to try to keep it down to that. Um, Not saying that these guys with these long podcasts that and with the 2 3 hour podcasts is bad, because there's not, but I just want to try to keep it a little shorter. We also have a date or a day for our podcast. It will be on Saturdays now. I did a little poll on the Facebook. A lot of people said they'd rather see the podcast on a Saturday because there ain't very many podcasts that are going on Saturdays, which I do agree. The only problem with putting it on a Saturday is I do vend a lot of the Saturdays. So if I was to do the podcast on the Saturday, which it is going to be, is we got to figure out on a time. So I was thinking either 8 or 9 o'clock. What do you guys think? Um, if I'm going to also do a thing on Facebook as well as Instagram of what everybody thinks about what time, 8 or 9. We don't want to make it too late, so everybody's staying up until 11 o'clock because people do want to have sleep after working all week. So I was thinking 8 or 9 o'clock. That should give me plenty of time to get back to from the expo, put everything away, get everything ready for the podcast. I do plan on getting some better podcast equipment, those soundboards, some mics, stuff like that. So you guys can hear me a little bit better. I might also figure out a way of hooking up a separate camera so it's not just the computer camera recording and that so you can actually have different angles. So when we do like maybe live egg cutting or a live clutch pulling or anything, because you never know what will happen on these podcasts, because you know it is live. So we can always try to do something like that, try to do different angles as well. With like I said, I'm gonna get some different podcast equipment. I plan on picking it up right around tax return time. Um so let me go ahead and do like this. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and run this commercial.
Hi, I'm Adam Wickens with Wickens Wicked Reptiles.
The leader of the reptile community and reptile industry, they resubmerged the ship, and here we are still going.
This war's been going on. I can barely even handle my emotions that we've finally got this stupid law that was made for ridiculous reasons off the books.
There were some mistakes made on April 6th, and I hope we can learn from those to reverse the interstate ban on any transportation of species listed as Imperius Species.
All right. So with that, I'm going to start using that as our little outro clip. Because remember, a portion of all our ball python sales gets donated to the U.S. ARC. We are doing that all the way up until the end of the year. So far, we have raised $100 for U.S. ARC with I think it was only 2 ball python sales. So make sure you come out and see us at the venues or at the expos. Buy a ball python from us, and support our U.S. ARC. That is why we fight for it. Is it helps us keep our reptiles in our home. Because without them fighting for our rights, we wouldn't be even able to keep these reptiles in our home. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. Make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more podcasts and that. So, and with that, guys, I am going to go ahead and say we are out of here. You have a great night, and remember, with hard work, determination, and positivity, your dreams too can become a reality.